Okay, so I think we're back to John. Top two now. Number two for you, John.
This one is just strictly because it's fun and what it is, and the fact that it was actually good when I did not know to expect that. Was
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
no.
He just Wild Wested us.
Yep.
Oh no.
Welcome to Movies, Film, Cinema, your premier movie podcast where we deep dive into the world of movies, dissecting the latest blockbusters, celebrating classic films, and exploring the magic of cinema. Join us as we discuss everything from Hollywood hits to indie gems, all things movies, under one roof. Pop some popcorn, close that disc tray, and enjoy Movies, Film, Cinema.
Welcome to Movies, Film, Cinema. We're your premier movie podcast. I'm your host, Big Bird, where we like movies more than Jason Voorhees likes to kill dumb, horny teenagers. Today with me are my co-hosts. As always, I'm with Billy V. This is John, the man, Balaban, and today we're going to give you some bonus features. John, hey, you're the type of guy that I know has really hard-lined opinions, and I figured this would be a fun episode to kind of like wrap up the year a little bit for everybody who's, you know, similar to you or just kind of loves movies in general.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Bill and I were talking about kind of this episode and just kind of thought it was kind of like a fun idea. So glad we can kind of get together and talk about this. Kind of what I thought we would do, audience. If you're watching or listening with us today, we're going to go through the year 2024. We're just going to name our top 5 best and worst movies. I think for me, I'm kind of more of like that Jimmy Fallon character, so I like everything. I don't have a lot of hardline opinions, but it sounds like these two guys are going to be battling over who's got the worst movie of 2024 here. So I'll give some honorable mentions as far as what I thought were not good movies in 2024, but I'm gonna let those guys kind of shine for that portion, and then we'll wrap this thing up. It's gonna be a quick episode.
You sure?
Maybe.
But we're going to wrap this up with 2025, some of the top 5 things that we're looking forward to as movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
Some honorable mentions there, things like that. And then we'll get you out of here quick. But John, how about you start us off with the number 5 of the top 5 movies of this year for 2024.
Let me take a look at my list here and see what I actually put at 5, because I had a couple that I was deciding between. And I know
it's tough, right?
This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion here, but my number 5 was Dune Part 2.
No! Duncan! No! Duncan, no! Duncan, no!
Dune Part 2, okay. As far as best movies of the year?
Best movies, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Best movies. So at the bottom of my 5 list, because I imagine most people might put it towards the top, because it had a wide positive reception, which I agree with in a lot of ways. The reason I put it lower on this list is because I did not enjoy it as much as most people I talked to did, and I think it was my own fault for that, because I read the book. I finished the book like 2 days before I saw the movie.
Okay.
And so there were themes that they decided to change that carry throughout that were some of the most impactful themes when reading it for me.
You are so beautiful, my Baron. Your skin, love to me.
Most of which involved Zendaya's Chani character. There was, and a couple other characters, but it kind of revolves around her and who she is and who she represents in the story and everything.
Okay.
She's a very different person in the movie than who she is in the book, not just from who she is and how she behaves, but her lineage as well. And that has a drastic effect on the way she's represented.
This is only the beginning.
But if I ignore all of that and just look at it as the movie that it is, as a sequel to the first one, separate from the book, phenomenal. I thought it was other than a couple weird things where like the whole battle sequence kind of didn't need to happen. It was there just to have a battle in the movie, which was kind of obvious as an audience member to see that. I feel like it could have been masked a little bit better. But other than that, I thought it was phenomenal, amazing visuals, amazing sound editing. The score was incredible. So as a movie, phenomenal, which is why it's on the list. But telling the story that Frank Herbert was telling, I know he tried to edit it for a movie representation, but a lot was lost for me. So
Okay. So?
that's why it's number 5.
And that's 5, huh?
Yeah.
It's interesting that you it's on my list too, and I love the movie, but a hot take, I don't think Zendaya's acting is very good in either one, part 1 or 2. Yeah. And it's interesting that her character is the problem that you have with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's her choices or Denny's choices. Like, Denny is a phenomenal director.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know what went wrong there, and I don't know if I'm an outlier here, but hot take, I don't think her acting is good in those movies at all.
This is only the beginning.
And I think that's the reason that this portrayal of it, like, she couldn't save it. Like, if her acting was up like a few notches, she might have been able to save what he did in those changes.
Yeah, interesting.
And so I think part of my opinion goes directly along with what you just said.
Yeah, it just seemed too forced.
Yeah,
and like not genuine. Responses to whatever Timothée Chalamet was giving her, like all of her responses just.
And just as a small little bit here too, that's another issue I had with it, particularly with her, but almost with almost every character. I saw the actors playing the characters rather than just seeing the characters.
Being the
characters. Like,
yeah,
for example, like Game of Thrones, I think is something that's one of the most perfectly cast things I've ever seen.
What? Yeah.
You see the characters, not the actors.
Next time you think about naked girls, will you feel an itch?
That's just a kind of an unfair comparison, but with Dune, I saw the actors more than I saw the characters.
That's how I felt with the Christopher Walken character.
Particularly, yeah. Yep.
I almost wanted more Walken.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't get full Walken as the Emperor. Like, I wanted more.
Yep.
Here I am, I'm naked. I'm naked. I'm talking to you like you were real.
We need the spice.
Like, not exactly. Yeah, exactly. Not
spice. Like
not more runtime with him, but I needed more Walken.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I needed more cowbell.
Yeah, more cowbell and spice.
Hey, Bill, what's your 5 for 2024?
It's hard, man. I kind of like, because you said we might do a top 7, we might do a top 5, so I kind of had to bounce back and forth. But I landed on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for now.
What a wonderful day!
Nice. Okay.
I mean, and I don't know if that needs to go higher or not. We have reached this. We're 90s kids, right? And 90s was when practical was becoming CGI overtaken, and it was just a uncanny valley, like just clay mashy CGI heavy decade. And some things landed, like Jurassic Park, and they will go down as the greats, but like they were just not good. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was just, we have reached that point where CGI is so damn good.
Yeah, it is.
And not just the CGI, it was the acting and the characters. And it's funny, someone actually just brought up to me the other day, they were annoyed by the lead ape. I wasn't annoyed, and maybe if I watched it again, it would probably not land as hard, but I've only seen it once, and it was in theaters, and it was a spectacle, and it was entertainment, and it was just so good.
Well, I also have that on my list, and I'll kind of go in my little bit of a deep dive on that here as well. For my number 5, I had Alien Romulus. That one, I felt, for me, like I remember watching some of Alien back in the day. I did a whole rewatch of Alien, right? All of the Alien movies before it, including Prometheus and all that good stuff. The continuity within that universe, I feel, was done really, really well. I had a new appreciation for the first Alien after rewatching it as an adult versus a child, and Alien Romulus. I really like it. It's one of those few times that when they take old IP and they add something new to it to kind of like further, quote unquote, the world and kind of have world building. It felt familiar, but it also felt new.
No, don't touch it! Don't touch it!
Because like the rules of kind of like what's in the universe, you know the face huggers, and that's important, and they're supposed to be in peril when the people are running from those face huggers. That sometimes there's these androids that are in there. You had Michael Fassbender from Prometheus.
Watch me.
I'll do the fingering.
And now you have this new AI, or not AI, android, I guess, if you want to call him, in this new movie. The gentleman who plays the android in it.
His name Andy, right?
I think his name is Andy. The character's name, I believe, is Andy. He just does such an amazing job. The way you can kind
Phenomenal
of
job.
Turn off and on, from dopey to completely
Sure.
change into another person. It's almost like watching Freaky Friday.
That's
the way
cool.
that he did it. I really love the practical effects. We had just talked about practical effects in the 90s. There was a lot of practical effects in that was really, really good.
I haven't seen it yet, so. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know.
However, there was some pretty questionable deep fake that a lot of people had issue with.
Yeah, no, that's the one.
But I didn't. It was pretty obvious deep fake.
I thought it was dumb.
Listen to me. Humans go through too many emotional stages before accepting the cold yet rational, sometimes hardest path. You must help them.
I think it kind of worked for a glitching android, right?
No, it was bad. It was bad.
What are the odds?
60-40 against your friend.
That's the one
When
bad
bad
thing.
scenes happen to good movies.
Yeah.
Let me. I'll just jump ahead to my number 4 because it was Alien Romulus as well, and so we can riff a little bit. So you think it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad deep fake.
Yeah.
But the movie was so
Snapchat
entertaining
bad.
that I kind of just accepted it as a glitching android, and it kind of worked for me.
No. No. If it was like that one, it'd be like if you ordered a meal from somebody and you saw that you ordered a burger and fries and there was just one French fry that was just burnt to crap. And you're like, why did they put that one French fry? You could literally just take that off the plate and it would be perfectly fine.
I think why it worked for me is in my industry, I'm surrounded by the deep fakes nowadays. And yes, it was bad. I'm agreeing with you. It's bad, but I think what saved it for me was the fact that it was done up on a practical effect. Like the half of the android, and sorry, John, spoilers.
No, that's all right.
Half of the android practical effect, but also it was the sound design with his voice, like the kind of
that was good. I'll agree.
Glitched out robotic, gurgling of that white android goo that they have in the whole Alien universe. I think that's what saved it for me. So yes, it was bad, but I think all of the surrounding elements kind of just made me it's just a glitching android. This is what it is.
Yeah.
But again, that's my number 4. I'll piggyback off of you. It's just, if you see the behind the scenes, they actually, a majority of the face huggers were RC controlled. And there are behind the scenes of the operators terrorizing the crew in between setups. That's awesome. Just chasing them down the corridors and stuff like that. And it's they're good. They're not just face huggers on wheels. They're face huggers that articulated on wheels and
sure.
It's creepy if you're on set with them and stuff like that. But
there's a lot of new elements to this movie that are really good.
Sure. Yeah. I am excited to watch it.
It's so good. But Brandon, let me ask you, because you said you went back and rewatched the original and then watched this. A lot of the people's gripes with this film was it was just too much of the same retold. But I think they weren't seeing it in the eye of the way you and I saw it, where it's just it's a very good continuation. I thought it was a very well, kind of like what John was saying but in our last podcast about Moana 2. It was a very good segue into what was next.
It's a natural progression of the story rather than something forced just to keep it in universe or whatever. Yeah,
I agree. The guardrails that basically the first couple movies kind of put in place is basically what kind of not pigeonholes, but basically kind of just sets a long track of what could be in this movie. And you just find out each movie, you find out more and more of what potentially could be and what has been happening and more to the lore.
Sure.
And it's just so deep and so rich. And I think this just adds on to the story. The other
I'll be excited to see one I like, because the last couple I have not enjoyed as much.
No, Alien, because I rewatched them, the Alien 3, I think it was, or Alien 4.
Well, even the recent ones like Prometheus, I thought was kind of fun while watching it, but thinking about it, I don't enjoy much. That
is it Alien 2 or Alien 3 where it's got the creepy human face, It's the one where he gets sucked out of the spaceship.
That's
Spider-Man
yeah,
references.
I think that's three.
That's 3 or 4. Yeah,
I like it only because of the janky alien at the end because it's just gross.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to rewatch those ones. I haven't seen 3 or what's 4, Resurrection. Is it? Yeah, I haven't seen either of those in years. So there's a lot I'm probably mix up between the two. But the first 2 I have watched fairly regularly over the years, especially the second one being the James Cameron fanboy that I am and everything. So those 2 I'm much more familiar with than 3 and 4 for sure.
3 and 4 are a huge drop off in quality.
That's what I hear all the time.
I
don't necessarily know that I remember that, but I hear it all the time.
Do you remember watching the Sci-Fi Channel in the early 2000s?
Oh yeah.
That's basically the quality you're going to get.
That sounds about right.
So,
yeah.
The one thing I did want to add.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yes, exactly.
This is not good.
The one thing I did want to add about this, just so I can get on my physical media soapbox, if you're interested at all out there, Alien Romulus obviously is going to be on normal, like your Blu-ray 4Ks. The really cool thing about this movie is they actually did, for the first time since I think it was History of Violence with
Viggo
Mortensen.
Great movie.
That was the last mass-produced VHS.
Was it really?
Yes. Interesting. So if you got that, hey, there's another $50 in your pocket there for you.
That's cool.
But the people at Fox put out a Alien Romulus VHS tape.
That's cool.
So that's something you can buy. So it's a modern movie you can get on VHS that's in wide release.
That's pretty cool.
So that's the first time that's happened in 20 plus years. So which is really cool.
So an additional nugget, I went through and wrote down Golden Globe nominees. So Alien Romulus is nominated for cinematic and box office achievement.
Cool.
Dune has Golden Globe nominated for Best Motion Picture in Drama.
Cool.
And then Best Original Score from Hans Zimmer, but he's potentially being disqualified because it is the same score as Part 1.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Technically, yeah.
Well, that was my number 5. Your number 4, Bill. So I guess we'll go back to you, John. What's your number 4?
Let's see what I put here. Alrighty, number 4. This is another one that I feel like it didn't get enough credit for what it was. A lot of people kind of swept it under the rug as being a worse version of a different movie, where I actually saw it as the superior version of that said movie. And this one was The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Interesting.
I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely just a blast to watch.
He hates Germans. You should really shoot him.
This might be a little weird thing to say, but it really made killing Nazis fun again, you know? So
Hitler's not playing by the rules, so neither are we.
The movie it gets compared to is obviously Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the few people who I've ever met that does not like that movie.
That's fair, yeah.
And
really?
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards?
Nine.
To me, it's kind of a turning point in the downfall of quality in Tarantino for me.
Mi scusi con me? Gorlami. Ancora una volta. Gorlami.
Which I didn't really enjoy the Kill Bills as much either. But Inglourious Bastards, I don't want to get too much into why I didn't like that one as much.
Antonio Margareti.
Ancora?
Margareti.
Un'altra volta, ma adesso vorrei proprio sentire la musica delle parole.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, it seemed like it almost delivered the message of the actual plot a little bit better than Inglourious Bastards. Inglourious Bastards is a lot of times good for the tangents the characters go on and some of the acting for specifically Christoph Waltz.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Like the opening scene is so incredible that I feel like a lot of people give the rest of the movie the credit that the opening scene strictly deserves. Whereas the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, I feel like maintained that level of quality all the way through. It was great to watch. The characters were hilarious. The action was great. There was times when it could have gotten too serious and it decided not to take itself too seriously and it stayed fun. Characters were in peril, but you were like, they'll probably get out of it.
Yeah.
And it was the type of movie that I felt like that was right for. You know what I mean? And so in a lot of ways, I almost feel like the comparison to Inglourious Bastards is unfair in the sense that people love Inglourious Bastards so much that this was always going to be a second place or a knockoff version of it in that sense. So if you can separate the two, I think it was actually actually a really phenomenal movie.
Yeah, I also like the fact that it's semi-based on a true story.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We're going to have problems going forward because Inglourious Basterds is probably one of my favorites
Is it?
ever.
No.
I will clarify, that's my personal opinion. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think
No, we're going to have
didn't
words.
enjoy it as much.
But I will say, like, Ministry of Ungentlemanly, I've said to this date, and another hot take, I don't think Henry Cavill can act for his life.
Ooh, okay. Hot takes all around.
But in Ministry of Gentlemen, is good, really good.
Yeah.
I loved what he did. I haven't seen a lot of Henry Cavill movies. I'm based off of Superman and what is it? Mission Impossible. He just says like 3 words. Actually, he's better in that one because he says like 3 words and then he just pumps his fists and fights or whatever. But I
cocking
don't
the
care for
sleeves or whatever. Yeah, that's great. He takes a helicopter to the face or a hook to the face, whatever it is. Yeah.
Why won't you just die?
I love Superman. I don't mind him. It's weird. I don't mind him. It's just his delivery. I tried to watch Witcher. Didn't care for it. I know everyone describes that's just kind of who the character is.
Yeah.
It just doesn't resonate with me, but he landed it in the Ministry of Ungentlemen.
Yeah. I will say for The Witcher, that is the character because I've read the books and played the games and stuff. So he definitely nailed it in that one, but I do kind of agree with you in some of the other things I've seen him in where he doesn't hit me quite as well. I like the guy as a person more than I like him as an actor from things I've read about him and stuff, and like how he's a video game nerd and everything like that.
Big
like,
Warhammer guy.
Yeah, exactly. So and like The Witcher as well, which is kind of what screwed him over in the show because they wanted to make changes that he wasn't okay with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll defend him a little bit on The Witcher for sure, but everything else I kind of agree with you actually. Yeah, I like the guy.
That's what I feel bad about. Like I didn't play The Witcher, I didn't read him or anything like that, and I've heard that from so many people, and I just can't since I didn't play him, I can't just associate his bad acting with
the character's personality is so weird that seeing it like that is probably kind of off-putting if you don't know it already. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Brandon, you're 4th.
Yeah, I was gonna say my number 4. We already talked about it a little bit, but Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This also, I have to echo what you said, Bill. There were times that I was watching this in the theater, and I saw this in Dolby Atmos at my movie theater.
Yeah,
and the sound there was so amazing. The sound design was great. That was like a movie that they actually made for Dolby Atmos. And then there was times that I was watching it, and I couldn't tell what was real or not. And
I mean, clearly there's talking monkeys, so they're not real. But I totally agree with you. Like, you're in the story. You don't care.
Well, the other thing. So once again, I'm gonna get on my physical media soapbox.
Mr. Bay, did you see the sign? Check your soapbox at the door.
So the 4K version of if you buy it, and it comes with a Blu-ray disc, and they show you like a picture-in-picture screen of like what they actually physically filmed, either like on the set, like kind of like on like a motion capture set, so you can see the facial expressions that they have, and the facial expressions that they have for the characters are like it's 1-to-1. Like there's you just put a monkey face on them and that's it. The other things that they show is like all the practical stuff. So like in the beginning scenes of the movie where the villages are burned down, a lot of those sets they built actually, and some of those fires that they set,
the practical lighting behind it.
It's very practical. So for me, the practicalness, the scope, the cinematography, everything they have in there was so good. I think the storyline was actually really good too. It got me hooked. If you're familiar with the Planet of the Apes universe type of thing, I think this is a really, really good segue into kind of like the circular way that they're kind of like going to go back into the old films.
The originals from like, what was it, 80 or 70s?
70s, I think, yeah.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, oh, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
So eventually we're going to get to a certain point in time where there's just going to be like a concurrent timeline.
Mark Wahlberg's going to show up.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Don't eyeball me, boy. I see your mother driving up and down the street looking at me. I'll be your stepfather by the week.
But for me, I just really, really enjoyed
if you know anything about motion capture, tradition, and I'll originally it's just dudes in suits in a room with cameras capturing it. If I'm not mistaken, the second one they amped it up, but I think it's the third one where they actually basically took the motion capture room and took it out to locations. So Correct. They basically had arrays of cameras in trees and in the set pointing down to these characters. So they were doing a mobile motion capture room basically, and it's just I've seen the making of, and it's just like it was tedious, and at points they were just like, why are we doing this?
Well, hopefully we keep seeing more of it, because I know they've done similar things for the Avatar movies too, where they bring the actors on location and they do some of the motion they act out the scenes so they can get a feel for the environment.
They build sets for them, but it's not like they're in location.
I've seen some stuff where they have been in location. They've gone to like the Amazon and stuff.
Yeah, but this is like almost 100% of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was location, motion capture, and all that stuff, and practical lighting and all that. And and I'd have to go back, but I didn't write any Golden Globe nominations for it, which is a shame because
this was
the
such a good
achievements
movie
that they had.
This was actually the first one of this new iteration of Planet of the Apes that I really enjoyed. The previous three, they were fine. I didn't have major problems with them. They just didn't hit me in any way. I was like, kind of whatever. They're fun to watch.
Is it James Franco? Is that what?
No, not even.
You okay, pal?
And especially back then, I usually liked him. So but like I said, it was nothing really wrong with the movies or anything like that. And I almost even bought them on 4K and everything like that, just to add to the collection because they do look really cool and everything like that. But this one, I actually just watched it like 2 weeks ago. And when I finally sat down to watch it, I was pretty impressed. I really liked how this one kind of can operate as its own fantasy in a way compared to where the other ones are clearly just part of the Planet of the Apes. This one almost can exist beside that, outside of that as its own thing.
Agreed,
as well as being a great addition to the Planet of the Apes. So that was actually one of my honorable mentions. I don't think I had it in my actual top 5, but I think it might have been my number 6.
Well, kind of like Alien Romulus, I like that they had the guardrails of the universe, the same IP, and they expanded upon the story.
I like the villain too. He wasn't just this outright evil guy out for destruction or anything.
That's voice acted by, and I'm brain farting his name now. Brandon, can you tell me?
Oh God, I don't know the name off his top of his head too. He was in Abigail in this year as well.
I didn't see that one.
That one was a really good one.
Abigail. He plays the Blob in Wolverine Origins.
Oh really? Nice.
You didn't know that?
Phenomenal, just character actor.
He is.
I feel like I saw who it was on IMDb, but I can't think of who it is.
Kevin Durand.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to live like one of them.
Phenomenal actor, and I don't think it's weird. He is great what he does, but I don't feel like he gets enough praise within Hollywood for how amazing he is.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just the rock I live under. I don't know.
Might not be rubbing the right elbows. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. So we got 4s and 5s done, or 5s and 4s, I should say. 3, I think we're on 3s now. Halfway through our list. John, I think we're back to you, my friend. We're going to go with number 3.
Number 3. Actually, I went with Moana 2.
Boat snack! Boat snack.
Nice. Okay.
I just really liked the story, especially without giving any spoilers away. Where the story goes at the end. You know what I'm talking about.
I was gonna say the movie is very back end heavy.
Yeah, super
cool. If you can sit through the first half of it, and like you said in a previous episode, the music isn't as strong, but if the second half of it's really, really good.
Yeah. The way the actual story progresses and even how characters interact with each other, I really liked that they did not, light spoiler, they did not make Maui return to his original state of being all cocky and rude to everybody and everything. Like one of the first times you see him, he's helping someone and he's like, I'll be right back, don't move, you know? Yeah. And so you see too many times where a sequel happens and they revert the character back to the thing that they overcame in the first movie or whatever. Right. If they're grumpy in the first movie and they're happy at the end, the second movie they're grumpy again. Why? You know? So I really liked that aspect as well as a bunch of other things about it. Animation was crazy cool. There was some sweet subversions in it There was particularly a character I thought was going to be the big bad of the movie, wasn't. And so that was really cool.
Yeah.
There was a character I thought might be some sort of a love interest, wasn't. So that was really cool. Like, there was a lot of things that I just didn't expect that really surprised me, especially the trend that, like, Disney's been on lately.
Yeah.
I was like, this came out of nowhere. I was not expecting old, good Disney quality out of this, you know?
The same 2 points you just made with the love interest and the big bad, I thought the exact same thing as well.
They set it up perfectly for that subversion, you know?
Yep, for sure. Bill, what's your number 3, my friend?
Okay, so I'm actually starting to get into pretty generic picks, I would say. Because unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of the good, bangers that have been coming out at the end of this year. So I just saw the box office hits or whatever. And it's a bummer that we're doing this now because I am looking so forward to Nosferatu. And
me too.
Oh man, I can only imagine that would be in this top 5.
I think I had it as an honorable mention for things that haven't released yet. Like that and like Sonic 3 I'm really excited about, but
But it's so to get into I guess the generic picks, but it's definitely up there is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland.
Sure.
It's at the end of the day, it's just another Marvel like multi-million-dollar stuff blows up, but it's like I love that I'm doing this podcast with one of my good friends that I grew up in high school because a lot of these movies started back then with us, and it's like it's coming full circle with these characters, and it's just that was another like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes type of thing where it's like the CG has gotten to the point now where it's just like you're less worried about like, oh, that looks hokey or that looks whatever. Throw enough Disney money at it and it just looks good. What's her name, the lead antagonist when she's just poking her fingers through
through the head or whatever.
Xavier's sister, I can't think of her name.
Cassandra.
That's it.
And like all the graphics were amazing. Yes, there was moments that were just like it's just Disney throwing money at it, but like there's so many other moments where like the whole old boy homage, like side scrolling of Deadpool and Wolverine just taking out all the Deadpools and then going through the bus. The ending where you get Deadpool and Wolverine jumping through the bus. To be honest, the CG was pretty bad. But but the pose and finally getting Hugh Jackman do like a Wolverine jump out pose. And yes, he was just standing there all CG, just like huffing and puffing, but it was just like it just hit all those nostalgic moments for us when we were kids.
Yeah, it was just fan service all the way around.
But done
fan
well.
service all around, but it wasn't like it wasn't just like gross fan service. It was deserved fan service. Some of it was kind of gross just fan service, but it was like deserved for these multiple decades of leading up to this point. And I feel like they just gave it to us the right way.
I feel like the cameos were actually effective.
Let's face it, our worlds forgot about us.
One never learned about us.
The heroes we were.
Lives we saved or wanted to save.
Where sometimes it's like it was so
just
small, it's what's the point? Or
yeah,
and sometimes the small ones can be excellent too when they're placed nicely. But some of these cameos these days, I'm just getting sick of at times. And this one, pretty much all of them hit. And I was like, wow, this is actually impressive. Like the Doctor Strange, not so much, but this it hit. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, they even make a joke in there where like a Deadpool is just like, all right, we're done, we're over it.
Yeah,
we're like like they threw in one extra one and like Ryan Reynolds is like, just stop it.
I think I only had one real critique of that movie, and it isn't even anything really that negative. It was that I feel like they forced in too many F-bombs into Hugh Jackman's lines. It's like every single line it felt forced. I was like, I don't think Wolverine would even like cuss that much, but true.
This was also a Golden Globe nomination for cinematic and box office achievement, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3, I'm not normally a fan of A24, but MaXXXine.
That's my little girl. There's nobody else like you.
Did you guys get a chance to see that one at all?
I did not.
So this is in the X universe, if you're familiar with those movies. So chronologically, if you were to watch those movies in the X universe, it would be Pearl, X, and then MaXXXine. However, the movies came out with X first, and then Pearl, and then MaXXXine. Ty West is the director of these films, and the first 2 he actually filmed back to back, but didn't tell the studio he was going to make a second film, and bam, put out the second one like pretty much like 6-7 months later.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, from the other one. I really, really enjoyed the first one, and Pearl, it kind of like set me over the edge. I'm like, this is so good. There's a scene in Pearl where she has like a 7-minute monologue. Mia Goth is the main actress. She has like a 7-minute monologue of she's like talking to somebody across the table, and you kind of forget like, holy crap, this is a one take.
Sure.
And she's just pouring out her heart and soul into this particular role.
I know what I've done. The bad things. Terrible, awful, murderous things.
In MaXXXine, you kind of see Mia Goth come into her own, and it's a really good throwback to like 80s horror. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of fun like satanic panic.
You didn't fail me, Daddy. You gave me just what I needed.
It's very, very gory, which I love. Kevin Bacon is in there. That's always a good, good reference in there. The music, the music is really great. It's shot very well. It feels like a grindhouse movie.
Sure.
There's some Hollywood references in there because they're in LA. So there's a lot of like nuggets for people like us who are really into movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a murder scene in a VHS rental shop that's pretty darn good. I would highly recommend, if you're a horror person, to check out the series. But MaXXXine is like a good like cherry on the cake for this one.
Nice.
And I was really, really anticipating MaXXXine coming out for a long time. So did not disappoint, at least for me. And not being an A24 person, at least, this is one of those rare A24ers that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
He's not. He complains about
I know,
that.
he didn't like
so
The Green
much
Knight, which is a masterpiece.
I didn't like The Green Knight either.
Really?
It was boring.
I think it's a
so
masterpiece.
boring.
Oh my goodness.
You can. Yeah.
I can think.
Yeah. So many people did see it as a masterpiece.
Yeah.
The Green Knight, I believe, for me, the reason why I hated it is the same reason why I hate most A24. I was so sucked into the premise. The premise was so amazing. It was shot so well. It was beautiful. The story was so interesting. And then the end made nothing of that matter. Like everything. Like Dream Scenario does that to you.
Yeah.
Why me? I don't know. I'm special, I guess.
There's so many A24 films.
Do you know the original story?
I know it's based off of a old like poem or like something. I want to say it's like Norse or something like that.
Yeah. It's kind of intended to be that way, even in the original version.
Okay.
So that's, I think, why it's like that. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It definitely takes some creative direction away from the original tale, but in my opinion, most of it served it well.
Yeah, fair enough. Did we get to your number 3, Bill?
Yeah, it was the Deadpool one.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so I think we're back to John. Top 2 now. Number 2 for you, John.
This one is just strictly because it's fun and what it is, and the fact that it was actually good when I did not know to expect that.
Yeah.
It was Bad Boys, Ride or Die.
Oh my God!
No.
Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
no!
He just Wild Wested us.
Yep. No, and it's
no, and it's a Will Smith.
You guys are freaking out so much I lost you in the headphones.
Hey Reggie.
Yes, sir.
Did you eat my snacks?
No, sir.
No.
Yep.
Oh my God.
My guy.
Hey, Bill. I'm an LA police officer.
I'm Will Smith.
Dude, it's not about them though. Did you see the movie?
Will Smith.
No, it's all about what's the guy's name?
Martin Lawrence?
No, the daughter's husband.
One thing you don't know, Reggie.
Oh,
that scene
saved the whole movie.
That scene was probably the best thing I saw all year. So because of that,
I think his name's Reggie. Right?
Reggie, that's it. Yep, Reggie. And then Martin Lawrence just Reggie. I was excited for those snacks. The way he's saying it, like, it's so ridiculous. So yeah, it's not that it's the best movie, but it made me feel the best this year, at least at number 2. Because, like I said, I was not expecting it to be good. I didn't like the last one that much. There was some fun action in it, but it wasn't a good movie. Yeah. Especially tying Will Smith's character's family into it. They did a 24 season 5 thing there. It was terrible. But
well, they did that in the previous. They just totally went ham on it on this one. And
the Reggie scene made it for me, man. That like I was like visibly happy when that was like.
I was gonna say like out of all the movies, he finally got his.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, and those are the only movies that guy's ever been in. He doesn't even have a picture on IMDb. He's only been in the 3 Bad Boys movies that he's been in.
And he finally gets to use the grill at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Mike.
Excuse me, sir.
What you doing, Reggie?
So great.
Winks towards the camera.
He killed like 15 people at the house. It's so good. So good.
I love how cheesy too is. Like he just got done murking everybody, turns to like the ring camera, and he's like, "Got him."
So good.
Mike, did you see that shit?
They're watching. They're like, "Oh, damn!"
Yeah.
So yeah, that scene. I mean, I enjoyed the whole movie, but that scene in particular, I was through the roof just with excitement and joy when I saw that.
Yeah,
it was like when I saw Smoking Aces and a man sits on a live chainsaw. I was happy for weeks after that.
But Smoking Aces was amazing.
Of course it was. I love that movie. It's probably in my. Well, I don't know. I don't want to rank it somewhere, but it's up there for me. I love Smoking Aces.
Fair enough. Dang. Bill, you're number 2. What do you got?
Oh wait, Bad Boys Ride or Die is in my top 7, like honorable mentions.
Nice. For bad.
Yeah, for bad. Top 7 honorable mentions for worse. So number 2 is okay. Quentin Tarantino came out with a movie called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it was supposed to be a love letter to Hollywood. In my opinion,
Yeah.
People argue with me. I didn't care for it.
I didn't enjoy it at all. So I'm there with you, buddy.
But The Fall Guy was a love letter to the crews and people that make films and Hollywood.
Is that from a movie or did I just make that up?
I loved it from start to finish. The action was amazing. The comedy was great. The practicals was amazing. A little tidbit, if nobody has, I mean, we live in the day and age of social media, so you've probably seen it, but the scene where he flips the car on the beach and it's supposed to be a Guinness Book World Record. Like he flips it and they're like, "Oh, that's a record."
Yeah.
It actually is a Guinness Book World Record. They flipped the car twice. The first time it went end over end and it didn't flip that many times and they didn't like it. So they flipped it a second time and it actually got the Guinness Book World Record. But if you watch a
awesome.
interview with, it's like, it's a movie for stuntmen and they did stuff like that. And, if you watch an interview with Ryan Gosling, I forget which platform it was on, but you name it, he's probably went through the whole entire gambit of it. He said it was so surreal playing a stuntman, getting in the seat of that car, and then right when they're about to actually do the stunt, they pull him out and put the real stuntman in, do the stunt, pull that stuntman out, put him back in to make it look like he's coming out of it, and the guy who's pulling him out of it in the film is the guy who actually broke the Guinness Book World Record.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was just entertainment from start to finish.
Yeah.
The scene on the dock where he's getting doused with gasoline, and I forget the actor's name. He started in Kick-Ass and he's in Godzilla, and he plays the actor that is the bad guy in that film.
I'm drawing a blank on who it might be right now. I can't even picture who it might be.
Yeah. Are we talking like the guy who's playing Craven here soon?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That guy.
Something
Kick-Ass.
Taylor Johnson.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That could be
that's the guy that's playing Craven, at least.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scene on the dock where he's getting doused in gasoline and he's just spewing out his mouth because he's just a meathead actor with muscles, and Ryan Gosling's like, "You need carbs in your diet. Your brain needs to think." Like,
Where's the phone? Tom, you need carbs! Your brain runs on glucose!
one of the best like comedy lines I've heard in a long time, and it's just, again, it was just a love letter to Hollywood in my opinion, because I work on sets and work in crew and deal with like the whole opening one-er sequence where he's on the radio and tells her to go to 2, which is a secure channel, and they have a little love moment, and it was good. It's good.
That's good to hear. I've been wanting to see that one. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's been on me and Shirley's list to check out.
Entertaining, man.
Yeah,
and it's a remake from, is it the 80s when the TV series was on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that part of it.
Yeah, and at the very end of the end credits, one of the actors is from that show is in the end credits.
That's cool. Yeah.
Both. The female and the male.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, nice. That's cool. It's like a 21 Jump Street type thing there. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
I really enjoyed that movie, and it holds a special place in my heart because we went to San Diego earlier in the year and was at a drive-in movie theater with my girlfriend, and she took us to go see that movie. And the drive-in movie theater is like you peek over the fence and there's the beach.
Oh, so nice. That's cool.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah. Bro, you saw that at a drive-in? That sounds so good.
It was so cool. And the best part was there was like maybe like 6 or 7 cars in the parking lot, and we showed up like 30 minutes early. So I got like dead center, exactly where I want to be. And like it was just me and her hanging out. It was like perfect. Cool. It was like perfect date night.
I think the last thing I saw at a drive-in was Sin City.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's
it was
a while ago.
Double feature, Sin City and The Ring 2, I'm pretty sure is what it was, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a while ago.
Yeah. Had to sit through The Ring 2 to get to Sin City.
That's fair. Well, at my number 2 is Dune Part 2.
I don't believe you.
We already talked kind of extensively about this.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna deep dive into it. The one thing I just want to reiterate was just it was like cinematically, it was very beautiful. I watched it in Dolby Atmos. The sound was amazing. Visuals were great. Just bullet points for this one is just like you guys already went in ad nauseum to talk about this movie, so I'm not gonna go any further. But
sure.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So highly recommend.
Sounds like he may be returning to Arrakis for a third. So we'll see.
So
if Dune, what is it? Dune Messiah, I think is the next one, or Dune.
Yeah, that's supposed to be next.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you guys watched the HBO miniseries?
I have not.
No.
I started it and it's boring.
That's kind of what I've read. I haven't actually talked to anybody who's seen it, but I've read articles where it's like it sometimes reaches the levels of Villeneuve's Dune, but for the most part, just falls flat.
Yeah, I think the other thing I appreciate about that movie is the continuity between the two movies is pretty good. Like it looks like it was just like filmed back to back.
I do really like, especially when we talk about the first one as well, I do like that they didn't spoon feed what's going on to you. Like it's you either get what's happening or you don't, and you're probably going to enjoy it either way, you know?
For sure. Yeah. Well, we're at our top one now of 2024. So we're going to start it off with John. You get the first one, but we are at top one of 2024.
All right. Mine was kind of a surprise because it's a movie I did not expect to enjoy, especially not to the level I enjoyed it. And kind of to go along with the rest of this list, it's not necessarily what I think was the best movie of the year, but for me, it's the movie I enjoyed the most. I actually went back to see it twice in the theater and tried to get people to go a third time with me. But we're talking about Furiosa here.
Right? It had everything, right?
Okay. I know not a lot of people saw it, which is unfortunate. And it had some quirks about it that people that did see it might not have enjoyed as much, particularly like the frame rate and the CGI. Both of those things, from my perspective, actually benefited the movie, though, because I have a hard problem when CGI stands out and looks blatantly fake where everything else does look real. But in this one, the combination of the frame rate and the practical effects mixed with more CGI than they used in like Mad Max Fury Road, for example, I think it all played together to create a new level of continuity for the movie itself. So even though there are certain times you could blatantly tell there was CGI, the frame rate helped mask it a little bit. Or certain times when the frame rate looked weird, the CGI helped mask it. Or there was other times where it's kind of like if you watch The Lord of the Rings again, and you can see like, especially the bridge of Khazad-dûm looks super fake as it's falling, but it has a certain effect to it that only is seen in that movie or in The Lord of the Rings in general. And so it adds to the continuity of like, all right, it looks kind of fake, but it looks like it belongs in this movie. That's how I felt with Furiosa, where everything that was kind of odd worked as a benefit to the rest of it as kind of like a combination of everything that went into it. And then beyond that, the action and storytelling was just on another level. I've never seen anything even close to what that movie pulled off when it comes to the action, like the car chase when you see the motorcycle flying in from the background and you see a slight glimpse of it in one shot from the side and you're like, was that something flying in the sky? Like, these people don't even have gas. Like, what are we talking about? And then you see it really coming around. And it's a motorcycle with parachutes rigged to it so it can fly. And, like, some of the stuff they did with hooking people to parachutes and pulling them off their bikes and stuff. Like, from an action straight standpoint, I think it's one of the better action movies I've seen easily in the last 20 years.
Wow.
I know not everybody feels that way, but that movie just hit me super, super hard. And especially coming off of Fury Road, just sweet.
Awesome.
I see Bill's hand up over here.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I'll only add one anecdote. I was on the fence about that movie as far as like liking or disliking it. Once I learned more about the behind the scenes stuff and more practical stuff, I was more of a fan.
Were you? Yeah, that's cool to hear. Yeah, that's cool to hear.
Go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just raising my hand because I'm against you guys.
Are you?
No, that's fair.
Did not like it.
Short and sweet. I thought it undermined everything that was amazing about Fury Road. But
oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
You have any examples of that?
Like, he made, is it Fury Road or is it Mad Max 3? It's one of the Mad Max he was making while he was making Babe Pig in the City.
Oh.
He was making them at the same time, and the studios told him to stop, make one at a time. And he's like, "No, I'm going to do it." It's like Fury Road was it was designed to just be such a manic, like over the top thing, and Furiosa for me was just too laid back. Like I felt like it just seemed to me like George Miller was tired.
Okay,
and like it just wasn't as manic and over the top and like true old school like Mad Max. It wasn't a bad film. I can get behind you on why you like it. But for me, it just was too tame for a Mad Max world.
That's interesting because I see it as like wildly outside of the realm of tame compared to the other ones. Like to me, Fury Road is the way toned down version, but it is the better version. But I think it is the way toned down one.
It's other things too. Like I think it's like I loved Chris Hemsworth's character and I loved his choices, but I just felt like it was like right at the peak and it just didn't get over. You know what I mean? Like and that's why I say like it kind of seemed like George Miller was just a little tired and just didn't get the film for me to that point. You know, at that tipping point. Like I loved. Again, Chris Hemsworth's look, his character, his choices, like his voice, like, where are you
going? So full of hope. There is no hope.
Yeah,
all that weirdness, but it just, to me, I just didn't like it. Just didn't set me over.
I got you.
Like, yeah.
The one thing I will say is I really did not. The main reason I didn't think I was going to like it was Anya Taylor-Joy being cast as Furiosa. I do not see her as Furiosa at all, and.
Yeah, but it worked.
See, in the beginning, I don't think it did. But I think there is a point where her character has been broken so much that you actually see her die inside, and you can see it in her eyes. And when that happened, there's a particular scene when that happens, and she becomes something that she wasn't before. And that's where the whole time I had a problem with Charlize Theron's Furiosa and Anya Taylor-Joy just didn't add up to that. But then, when that point in the movie happens, when she dies inside completely, it becomes fully believable that this is what became Charlize Theron's Furiosa. Okay. And so it's much more of a development where a lot of times, and the same thing happens with Immortan Joe too, because Immortan Joe is played by the same actor that played the guy, I can't remember the character's name, but the one that wears all the scalps on his head towards the beginning of the movie. It's played by that same guy. And it's because the original actor for Immortan Joe died. And so he stepped in, and the viewpoint he took to play the character was not how can I be Immortan Joe. It was how can I be the character that became the Immortan Joe that we saw in Fury Road. And so without her ever actually saying that in an interview, I feel like you can see that with Anya Taylor-Joy as well, the way she portrayed the character. Or maybe it's the way she was directed, or I don't know exactly how it came to be that way. But yeah, she was the part that I thought was going to absolutely be the weakest link, and she kind of is for a little while. And then there's that point where it changes, and that being as effective as it was, I think is another reason that I liked the movie as much as I did. The subtlety of her character change type thing.
Cool. I get it. I guess number one for you, Bill. Where are we at?
And this one is Dune Part 2 for me.
Don't try to impress anyone.
And I almost kind of wouldn't put it at the top, but I would, because I kind of agree, like, Dune Part 1 is stronger. But I kind of classify Dune Part 1 and 2 as one solid movie.
Sure, yeah. Which it is one book, so yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just like I kind of classify it as, and since Dune Part 1 is pretty much a top 5 for me in general, I had to put it up there. For me, cinematography is just the chef's kiss and everything, and like the sound design and pacing and And that whole scene on, not Arrakis, but the infrared black and white scene on...
Oh, that was beautiful.
Why can't I think of it? The Harkonnen planet.
Yeah, the Harkonnen planet. So they actually filmed 2 cameras side
black
by
and white
side.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one camera was infrared and the other camera was color. And so they actually just faded from one to the other. But it was actually, I don't know if you guys know much about cameras, but it's literally like almost every single camera has an infrared light wave filter on it to filter out that so we can see colors the way we do. These sensors basically takes that away. So you're actually seeing the infrared. So it's actually how, if you had infrared eyes or whatever, it's the best way to like put it. So that's why their skin tones look so milky and like you can almost see through them and translucent and stuff like that. And Ashton Butler's portrayal in that as Faye Rotha is just so gross and cringy and like.
I was kind of worried about his performance in it too. And then when I left the theater, it was probably my favorite thing about the movie was his portrayal of that character.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was like, he got it. Like
So
that
good.
was sweet.
and Stellan Skarsgård, like those two together, just every scene you see of them, you just want to like just cringe and like.
I do feel like Dave Bautista was a little bit over the top in his performance of his character.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff he does.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I think that also kind of came from me reading the book so quickly before seeing it, is because he's not quite that obnoxious in the book. He's a psychopath compared to the other two, but he's whatever.
No, you're fine. Well, I guess I will finish us off then. My number 1 is Heretic.
As I understand it, stop me when I go wrong, he was visited in the night by an angel called Moroni.
One of the few A24s.
I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah, God,
it's good.
It's good.
It's good.
And I think I may take a standpoint similar to you, John, about how you feel about Furiosa.
Sure.
Not a lot of people may not like this one as kind of the best film of 2024. I think for me, the reason why I self-identified with this movie so much is because of the upbringing and background that I have. The whole premise of the movie is, and you can tell from the trailer, so I'm not really spoiling anything. So basically these Mormon missionaries go up to a dude's house and say, hey, can we tell you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? And he's like, yeah, come on in, and tricks him to come inside. And basically in the trailers it looks like they're going to get put into a game of Saw,
Sure.
to kind of get out of the guy's house. But really it's kind of more or less like he's trying to convince these girls that your religion is poo-poo. There's nothing there to it.
Sure.
The more you know, the less you know.
So he does it in a very, basically in a very like kindergarten way. Like he spoon feeds it to the audience.
Sure.
I really self-identified with it because I was like, I had to come to all those conclusions in a more, I guess, educational,
long and drawn out
and like academic way. Yeah, experience-based.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be really divisive for people. So if you're religious yourself, you're probably not going to like it.
Mormonism, i.e., these are all iterations of the same source material.
Like I've mentioned before, I work at the Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually some Mormon missionaries trying to, encourage people to follow the faith, and
at the theater. That's great.
So
that's like, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
For some reason, it is an entirely different situation. It reminds me of Kevin Smith protesting Dogma.
Yeah.
Instead, they got less than 2 dozen, but they were joined by this man. He wouldn't admit it, but he looked and sounded suspiciously like Dogma's writer, director, co-star, and New Jersey resident, Kevin Smith.
I don't think it stands for anything positive.
What does it stand for?
I don't know, but I've been told not good.
So great.
Yep. His own movie.
So, but I mean, the Mormons have been known to, like, even in the Book of Mormon, they'll try to get people to the church any way that they can.
Yeah.
So it's a movie for a particular audience, but for that audience, it is like a typical top tier done.
Yeah.
And it's more of a cerebral movie and more of a thriller than it is like what's billed as a horror.
Sure.
But the movie in general, it's very simple. The idea is very simple. It's shot very simply. There's no big action sequences. There's no big twist.
Yeah.
It's just a very simple story, and it tells a very simple narrative, and it just works.
I'm gonna have to check it out. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of that, Hugh Grant is Golden Globe nominated for Best Performance by Male Actor in Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and that's out to piggyback off of Big Bird. Hugh Grant's, like, every good performance is done through sincerity, right? Like, an actor will, like, whether it's a comedy or not, they are that character. And Hugh Grant just played that character so believably that you're just in it from start to finish.
I've been impressed with him a few times lately. Like, The Gentleman.
Dude, him as an Oompa Loompa in Wonka?
I didn't see that, but I've heard that he was good in it.
He was good as Oompa Loompa.
Beloved Loompa Land, where the cocoa beans grow in disappointingly small numbers, and my friends look down on me.
What? It looked terrible in the trailers, but when you actually watch it, it's so great.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's another one I still need to see.
He plays a good person who has a lot of arrogance about them.
Well, and that's in The Gentleman. He plays it that way, and it's just so excellent. He's one of my favorite characters to watch in that movie.
Yeah, it's kind of. He kind of like catfishes the girls, obviously, to get inside the house.
Yeah,
and he plays such like a sweet old man.
Yeah,
and, and then
all pleasant and everything.
Then he flips it. And he flips to that arrogance, and the light switch that you see.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like a small walk to where he wants to get them, like as far as story wise is concerned.
Sure,
but then as soon as that switch flips, it is like wow, like night and day.
Well, if that's right, then. There'd have to be another way into this basement, yeah?
This is all reminding me of an actual story, so hopefully this movie ends a little more exciting than this story did. But
kinda.
My wife is from Slovakia, and so her parents are as well. And living here in Littleton, Colorado, her dad got a door-to-door something or other years ago. I don't remember what it was. And the guy noticed his accent and was like, "Oh, I like your accent. Are you Russian?" Calling a Slovak person Russian is like not very pleasant. Yeah. So he actually invited the kid inside, sat him down with coffee, and explained the history of Russia and Slovakia. And so he let the kid go. So I'm hoping this movie's a more exciting ending than that. But
you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. Exactly. But yeah, it's another thing. It's like, oh, I don't agree with you. Come inside and let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it's built.
Yeah.
It's like, I just have some questions.
Right,
yeah. Well, hey, that's great. That is our top 5 each of 2024. I think at this point...
Can I give some honorable mentions, though?
Yeah.
It'll tickle your fancy.
No problem. I was going to say, at this point, we're going to do some honorable mentions for 2024. Go ahead, Bill.
Just rattling them off in no particular order, but kind of. Arcadian with Nicky Cage.
Don't think I saw that one.
Absurd movie.
Okay.
Abigail.
As many of his are.
Yep, Abigail was great.
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yep, got that.
Bob Marley, Godzilla versus and Kong.
That was
enjoyable. For you, Brandon, The Beekeeper.
Dude, The Beekeeper was so good.
I heard nothing but good, but I still haven't seen it. Yeah.
Jason Statham, he's going around, he's kicking people in the face.
Excellent.
That's the whole movie.
Excellent. That's all
he's
you
a
need
keeper
to make
of
a good
bees.
movie.
Yeah. And he keeps bees.
Yeah.
For no particular reason, and then it kicks you in the face.
Oh, there's a particular reason, but we're not going to spoil it.
Oh, good.
I'm a beekeeper. To protect the hive. Sometimes I use fire to smoke out hornets.
Yeah, you can continue, or I can take over for you.
Oh, I got more, but I'd let you guys
sure.
have your
Did you
honorable
guys get a
mentions,
chance to see Bike Raiders at all? That was
I did, yeah. That was awesome.
Really great film. That almost made my list. I had Deadpool on there like you did. The 4:30 movie, which is a Kevin Smith film, I highly recommend if you guys are a good fan of just Kevin Smith films or movies in general.
Is he ever going to come out with Moose Knuckle?
That is his next film, Moose Jaw, not Moose Knuckle. It's going to be the movie.
I was like, dude, that's going to be exciting when it releases.
Another A24 film that I actually did enjoy was We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
Oh,
that was good.
That
was a great one.
Oh, good.
Prepare to bring a tear, or wiper for your face, some Kleenex.
Just one tear.
Just one tear.
I'll bring that one tear. And just place
one
it.
tear ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the Indian on the highway. He's like sees trash.
Do yourself a favor. Don't turn around. told you not to turn around.
Yep.
Saturday Night is a really, really good movie. It's about Saturday
It's a Saturday Night Live one, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
that one's great. Fly Me to the Moon, which was an Apple one with Channing Tatum and ScarJo. That was really great.
Sure.
Longlegs, I enjoyed. I don't think Bill did. Inside Out 2, that one.
I didn't see any of these you're talking about.
That one made me cry.
Inside Out 2 was pretty good. It was pretty anxiety inducing for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for sure. Fall Guy I had on there. And then the one streaming movie that I had on here was the movie Wolves, which was on Apple TV.
Did that release?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know when that was coming out.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was getting a theater release, and I've just been waiting.
I thought it was going to get one too, but it ended up going on streaming.
That's good though.
Oh yeah, with Brad Pitt. And George Clooney.
It looks good. The trailer's awesome. So
the chemistry that they have together is it's atypical. It's like right from the jump off from like the
you can even
Ocean's
tell
movie.
in the trailer. It's like picks up where Ocean's left off and everything.
Yep, and the world building. It's kind of like reminds me of like John Wick.
Okay, cool.
So it's really good.
Yeah.
The other two that I had on here was Monkey Man. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that one.
Yeah, it was for me. Yeah. I feel like we were missing too much of the monkey. Like it was advertised as a dude in a monkey mask kicking the crap out of people, and then we saw Dev Patel kicking the crap out of people.
He does a montage build up.
Yeah, but then he takes it off before he fights.
Yeah, it's about to fight the guys.
Like that bugged me, but there were things I did enjoy about it. I was like, it's worth watching, but I didn't love it that much.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had was a documentary called Stopping the Steal, which is a really good one if you get a chance. That's on HBO Max that I really, really enjoyed. So otherwise, that is our top 2024 movies.
Ooh, wait a minute. I had one honorable mention here.
Oh, okay.
We haven't discussed yet. A Quiet Place 3.
Quiet Place 3.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap. I forgot that came out this year. That
I
was
really,
so good.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I put that on there as well, man.
Yeah,
as an honorable
that's a
mention.
good one. Yeah, I don't know that I liked it more than the first or second because I really loved the first and second, but I think it was definitely a nice fit with that. Like the trilogy is complete and awesome.
That should have been more on my list than other ones.
Yeah,
I really liked that one.
Yep.
And that one was actually scary.
I almost put that one instead of Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare as in my top 5, but
yeah, for me that would have been my 5.
Sure, yeah.
Because it would have been better than Alien Romulus. I was actually scared a couple times in that one.
Yeah, it was good. Mm-hmm.
Well, you're a little
Characters
scared.
were played well. I liked it. Yeah.
I don't care if I'm
sorry
scared.
to interrupt the break there.
No,
I was like,
fine.
wait, I know there's one I'm missing.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
This breaking news.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking news. There's your break. I figured our next segment would be, and we're going to try to make this really quick here. I just figured, hey, we already did our best. Let's do our worst. I know that John and Bill have a lot more to say about this than I do. I figure I just throw out the top 3 that I had here. Really, they're going to be really kind of common. Besides one, Joker 2, I'm in the realm of a lot of people. I didn't like that one for a lot of reasons. We don't have to go into that one. That is
he doesn't know how to make sequels.
Yeah. That is memed to death as far as that one is concerned. That one just was like a shot in the foot. A lot of people, it's in the theaters now, Gladiator 2. A lot of people were excited about that one, and the main reason why I didn't like this one is because of Denzel Washington.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe wasn't excited for it to be in theaters.
But
he's dead. What do they need to do?
Fair enough. But I mean, the whole time everybody's like, yes, my lord, pretty this, and right? And here comes Denzel Washington like, all right, I got some slaves. You're doing this. We're hanging out.
Right.
You know?
His New York accent. Yeah.
And then like,
I read early on that he kept the New York accent for it, and you can kind of tell in the trailer a little bit.
Yep.
And so I was like, I think that's going to bug me enough to just not watch it.
No, yeah, and it's like, it's kind of like watching the character from Training Day inside the Gladiator universe.
Yep.
To spoil it a little bit, there's
Lorenzo or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Basically, Denzel Washington tries to take over Rome, and in my mind, all I'm thinking is like, it's not what you can prove, Jake. You know?
yeah, exactly.
It's like whatever.
King Kong.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
It's not what you can prove to the Emperor, Jake. That's kind of what I was, thinking in my mind. And then the last
that makes
one,
sense.
Yeah, the last one I have on my list is probably nobody saw this movie, but the American Society of Magical Negroes. This movie was like in the theaters for like a week and a half, and I had a lot of high hopes for it. It looked actually really good from the trailers. And then about 15 minutes in, I was like, this is probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Sure.
And I stuck it out because I was like, hopefully it gets better.
Yeah.
At the very, very end, there's a monologue that should have been put more towards the front of the movie to kind of like make you want to stick around. But it fell on deaf ears by that point because you're just like...
Yeah,
so,
I hear you.
But yeah, that's my worst. I'm going to let you guys be at your best and let you guys deep dive in what really grinds your gears.
Let me start by a couple honorable mentions because we already said, and it's divisive. So honorable mention: Furiosa, Bad Boys, Ride or Die,
sure,
and Monkey Man.
My top two.
Yeah, that's definitely my honorable mentions for worst movies. But there's
I don't blame you. My first one I'll talk about is one that I actually did not see. I'm just gonna talk about it because I know how terrible it was. Atlas. Anybody catch Atlas?
No, I'd never heard about that.
Jennifer Lopez in a spacesuit nonsense.
No,
I liked it.
Did you really? Oh my goodness! Well, I saw a couple scenes and I just couldn't take it.
I analyzed your earlier statements. I believe you are 98.5% accurate.
Let me just say, I enjoyed it. It reminded me of 90s schlocky space action.
Sure, I can see that.
It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't...
I know she has a conversation with a robot about gender titles
whole
and
movie.
stuff,
Yeah.
and so that's...
about gender.
that lost me entirely.
It was entertaining.
Sure.
Yeah. One that wasn't on my list, but now that you say it like that, I know I didn't see it because I worked it.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it, was Megalopolis.
Oh, yeah. I'm hearing nothing but bad things.
I heard it wasn't good. It looked so amazing. But
Yeah, and I've seen some clips of it because I watched one of those, like, honest trailers for it or pitch meetings or whatever those were. And it shows some stuff, and I was like, wow, that's bad. Like, how did that get released? Oh, my goodness. Like, the dialogue just,
Well, he bankrolled it himself.
Yeah, Kevin Costner's having a good time with that right now, too.
Oh, with Horizon,
yeah.
Well, Horizon, I hear, is actually doing all well, right? Or is it not doing good?
Yeah, it's flopping. It might be a good movie. I haven't heard the actual quality of it, but I know it's flopping as far as what it's making.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the studio's already dropped numbers 3 and 4, and Costner keeps saying he's going to push forward and make them somehow.
It's not my money.
Yeah, right. It kind of looked good though, so I was a little bit sad. I'm not a big Costner fan, but I was like, it looks like it's well done at least.
Right.
I guess we'll see at some point.
I know some guys that worked on it, and apparently on set it was fun.
Sure.
It was like they had a blast.
Yeah.
But that's a movie is made 3 times: once in the writing, once on set, and once in the editing.
Sure.
So what happens on set doesn't always translate.
Yeah.
Into the editing. So.
Beautiful.
What do you got next, Bill?
Yeah. What do you have next for?
My 5th worst movie was Beetlejuice, and it is nominated for cinematic and box office achievements.
That's just because of the director's name and
yeah,
some of the cast.
It was not good, and I didn't care for it.
I felt like for that movie specifically, if you grew up with Beetlejuice, you're gonna hate Beetlejuice.
Really?
But if you discovered it at Beetlejuice as an adult, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is really cool. This is kind of like the first movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen Beetlejuice.
I have not yet.
So there's a villain in there. There's 2 villains in there, but the one villain is Beetlejuice's ex-wife.
Okay.
She doesn't need to be in the story.
Sure.
Like, she's a completely side character.
She definitely does.
So it's a really cool premise that her character, but it's a waste of time and.
Gotcha.
The actual villain should have been the whole storyline.
Sure.
Correct. I agree.
The classic too many villains problem.
It's not even too many villains. It's just like they were just it was like an identity crisis of what this movie.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like the actual villain, without spoiling it, worked, and the twist worked.
Sure.
Yep.
And everything. So, and then Danny DeVito was so underutilized.
Yeah, he was.
I've heard that actually. Yeah.
He had like 2 moments, and that was not even a moment.
Sure.
Poor guy. Utilized Danny DeVito to his full effect.
Right. Oh man.
And then I'll put, because you guys already talked about it, 4 and 3 is Joker and Longlegs.
Sure. I haven't seen either of them.
I love Nick Cage, and that.
Me too.
They shouldn't have casted Nick Cage in Longlegs.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Cuckoo,
He went too far cage.
Too far cage
in some scenes, but he did what he
Which
was
is,
creepy.
Is fine.
Sure.
But not in this movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. I don't even know too much about it, so at some point I'll get around to it. The Joker, this entire iteration of Joker, I think we've talked about, I am fundamentally against it even existing, even the first one. I have so many problems with the entire concept and the casting and the art direction and the ripping off of Scorsese and all, like everything that movie is, I am fundamentally against. And a lot of it comes from the idea of giving the Joker a backstory, especially a sympathetic one. All of that to me destroys what the character is. But
I guess that's the next movie we're gonna watch.
Yeah, that's a whole different tangent. But yeah, exactly. I heard how it ends, but I haven't seen either of those two, so I can't really speak to it beyond what I just said.
Okay, fair enough. Got any more, Bill?
Yeah, of course.
Send them your way.
Let me give this honorable mention. It's not a movie. It's straight to streaming, and it's a two-parter, and both of them suck.
So I hope it's the one that was the one on my list next.
Well, it wasn't in. It's a movie, but it wasn't in theaters, so I didn't qualify it. Rebel Moon Part 2 Scargiver.
Well, the first one was my next one. Like the whole thing together. Oh my god! I didn't even see the second one, but the first one is. I can't even say how bad it is. It's just. Like, what was he doing? I already hated him as a director, and now it's gotten worse.
It was Zack Snyder's attempt to be
Star Wars, right?
Hope, his own Star Wars, and it is gross.
It's like terrible.
The CGI cutscenes looked like something from Halo in the 90s, but not as good because Halo in the 90s was amazing, and this was it. But it's just like I'm watching this, and I'm like, how much money did they spend on this thing?
Yeah,
and it was just
every plot point is terrible. Oh, here's a new character that we need on the team. Why? Reasons. Will we ever see them again? Not till the second one. You know, and the whole movie is just acquiring that team. Like none of them do anything. The first one,
which they're all supposed to kind of die off at the end, but they don't die off at the end and stuff like that.
Even the plot too, though, like a space galactic federation needs to terrorize this planet for grain. Like, are you what? Like the thing that is probably easiest to terraform any planet to grow. You know, like the size of this civilization, they could have 12 planets that are nothing but grain. But whatever. Yeah, terrible.
Wow. That was amazing.
Do not celebrate this. There is no honor in this. This could easily be any of you lying here.
I'm not a streamer.
Yeah, you're lucky on this one then.
Fair enough.
Sometimes I watch these things just to give myself lessons of what not to do in the film industry.
That's fair.
That's kind of how I
put
felt.
myself through the pain.
Yeah,
I didn't want to watch the second one, but I had to just to see where it went. And,
I obviously don't work in movies, but I am working on writing a story right now. So sometimes I do the same thing of like, I know I hate this guy. What's he gonna do terrible here to teach me not to do? You know, like.
And it's a shame because it's like, you know, Sucker Punch, the original 300s. Like he's a great director, but it's just like this one visually wasn't even good in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
It was just gross. The action was so cumbersome. All the CGI was gross. The slow motion like splash screens,
just bad, so bad.
Well, sweet. I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, did you have a top one?
I got two more. My next one is arguably the worst thing this year, and from a, I guess, philosophical standpoint or personal standpoint, easily the worst. This movie should never have been made. The Crow.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I heard it was bad.
Oh my god, it's offensive and I don't get offended by anything, but this movie is offensive not only to Brandon Lee for the fact that it exists, but to every fan of any Crow movie, because there have been 4 others since the original that have all been terrible for the most part, but they were at least new stories. They didn't go back and butcher the original masterpiece that created an entire genre for a generation with that 90s cool that started with The Crow, you know, the black leather and trench coats and like all that good stuff. Everything that led to The Matrix and Equilibrium and all that stuff all came from The Crow. And it was just so bad. Every single aspect of what The Crow stood for was gone, was just completely missing or even reversed in ways. Like, we talk about The Crow, the opening sequence is the crime scene of them being murdered. In this one, they don't get murdered till like an hour and something into the movie.
Wow.
Like, so he doesn't even become the Crow until like an hour and a half into it. And even then, he's not fully the Crow. Like, there's still more.
So they're banking on doing more movies, probably.
I hope not. I don't think they have the option now after how well it did. But
so I got to ask you, because I love Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, me too.
Did he at least do good with what he was given, or was it just terrible through and through?
That's even hard for me to interpret because they turned the Crow from the Crow into like a wannabe Jared Leto Joker.
Oh no!
So like he's got awful tattoos, awful hair. The entire buildup of the story is the two's relationship, which in the original you get it all from a couple flashbacks and just the concept of love is kind of what it does. Like, you don't have to know these people to know how much they felt about each other. In this one, the whole buildup for like an hour, I might be exaggerating the time on that, don't quote me on that part, but the whole buildup is their relationship and showing them, but neither of them are even remotely likable in any way. So even as we were sitting in the theater, I leaned over to my wife and I was like, man, I really hate these characters. Hopefully they'll get killed at some point. And like, cause like just knowing the story, you know? And it's just so bad. And like in the first one, the original, each villain, you get an insight to their personality. They have some sort of quirk to them. They do things that, like, they kill people in ways that work with their personality. One guy likes knives, so he kills everybody with knives. And then the Crow kills him with his own knives. It's a whole thing.
Right.
And then same thing with the guy that's the heroin junkie. He
like
shoots people up, and then he kills that guy with his own heroin needles and everything like that. And so there's a lot more depth to every kill that he has. You feel the revenge in what he's doing, and you see the sickness of the people that hurt him in the first place. In this one, every villain, including the main one, is just some generic John Wick. He's gonna get killed. You don't have any reason to actually root for him to kill anybody. Like, it's just so bad. I will say some of the action is decent in it, like the choreography of it and the way they shot some of it. But the best scene, I would say, in the whole movie, there's a car scene that's pretty cool, but it's a direct ripoff of the car chase scene in The Raid 2. And you can see it blatantly. And then there's a staircase scene with a katana, which I actually would have enjoyed more than the Kill Bill staircase katana scene if it wasn't during an opera performance. And so the music just completely ruins the scene. Bad in every way it could be bad, other than a little bit of good choreography with action. Well, and that's not why you're watching a Crow movie, for over-the-top action. You know what I mean?
Fair. I've never seen The Crow, so
you should change that.
I know. I've heard.
If you've never seen The Crow and I don't know if it's your genre, it might be a product of its time for you, but it's still it's a gem.
Yeah.
You might enjoy it, you might not.
Yeah,
just because it is.
I will say I rewatched it again recently, like after seeing the other one, just to do a direct comparison, and I went into it being like, even the first Crow is kind of like, but it's great for the reasons it's great. After rewatching it, I was like, no, this is a phenomenal film, like, for a lot of different reasons. And so watching it again actually really improved my opinion of the original one.
Well, the Crow fans are, very avid Crow fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When The Crow came out at the movie theater when I was working, the night that it appeared and premiered, I had two coworkers that were like, "Oh my God, Crow is one of my favorite movies. I can't wait to see this one. I'm really scared they're gonna mess it up. I haven't heard good things and blah blah blah." Within 15 minutes, they both walked out of the theater.
Yep.
And then I had a customer.
Yeah, because that's 15 minutes longer they had to wait to see The Crow than you did in the first one.
Yeah. And then I had a customer halfway through. He's like, "Sorry, I can't hang. This is just nothing what I expected."
It's so bad.
He goes, I'm going to go ask for a refund. And I was like, I get it. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So
here's your money.
Yep. Here, pretty much.
Yep. I actually went back and I guessed correctly. When we were driving back home from the movie, I was complaining to my wife about it, and she hated it as well. But I was like, I'm pretty sure he actually is the full-on Crow starting his journey within the first 7 minutes of the original.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We went back and watched it. In minute 7, he becomes the full Crow.
Nice.
And so I was like, I was not far off in my memory, and I hadn't seen it in like 15 years, but I knew that was a specific of it.
Yeah.
This is a new one. Oh my God.
Wow, that's too bad.
Yeah, it was bad. But the final, and this is, I think, the worst movie of the year, Argyle.
Argo, I didn't get a chance to see that one.
Don't. Just
okay,
don't.
Fair enough.
Just don't. It's so bad. It's the type of thing that Sam Rockwell, I feel like, and he's the reason I saw it. I was like, it looks terrible in the trailers. My wife wanted to see it.
Yep.
I was like, looks terrible, but it has Sam Rockwell, and he can save anything he's in.
Yeah.
Nope, he can't. No, it's so bad in every way that it could be. Kind of like The Crow, but like At least it's not insulting a dead person, you know. But like, it's so bad. Like, I hated it more than The Crow by quite a bit. And you saw how passionate I was about The Crow a second ago.
Fair enough. Well,
I think you know, Argyle I didn't hate as much as I will clump my number 2 and number 1 into one category. Madam Web and Venom.
Ooh.
But Madam Web takes it for number 1 worst movie the whole year.
Yeah.
I would watch Argyle again over Madam
Would
Web.
you really? Wow.
Any day.
Oh man.
I don't know if you saw those two.
I didn't see either of them, no.
Oh my God. Brandon, did you see either one of them?
I saw Venom, and to be fair to Madam Web in a roundabout way.
Don't be fair to Madam Web.
I didn't like really any of the Venom movies per se.
Sure.
The first one was probably the best out of the 3. The second one, I was like, what the F are they doing with this? And the third one is like, I already know this is going to suck.
I didn't even see the second one, so I didn't bother with the third one either.
It continually just goes down.
Yeah, it just continually goes downhill. Really, unfortunately, it would have been beneficial if those were rated R movies.
Yeah,
it's Venom.
Definitely,
yeah. It would have been like a Deadpool situation if those were actually rated R. Not worth it at all.
Venom was a mess. But yeah, dude, honestly, if you watched Madam Web, you'd probably go back and watch Argyle.
Yeah. From what I've heard about it, I feel that's probably accurate.
It is that bad. It is.
I have a theory about that movie, though. Are you guys familiar with The Producers?
The movie The Producers?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's what Madam Web was.
I'm
pretty sure they tried to make more money off of a flop than actually putting the effort in to make it a good movie. And the reason is because of Sony's contract to release a Spider-Verse movie. I think it's every 2 years they have to release one.
Oh, really?
And so because of and there's a lot of theories around the film industry right now that several of the actors in that movie were hoodwinked into it by being told it was an actual MCU movie, not a Sony Marvel movie.
Yep.
And so there's specific quotes from actors saying things like that. Like, I'm excited to be joining the MCU. And then they found out it wasn't. And then Dakota Johnson fired her agency after that.
Oh, geez.
And so why did she fire her agency after she mistakenly said she was in an MCU movie? Maybe it's because she kind of got tricked. I don't know if any of this is true. It's my theory. I'm pretty sure they tried to produce this.
No, I think it's more so I wouldn't say fact because everyone's going to blow me up, but it's pretty like I think that's the word that's going around. Dakota Johnson just definitely got hoodwinked into it.
I heard Sydney Sweeney had a similar thing with her agency where she had issues with them afterwards.
Oh my God. The whole dynamic between the characters was just terrible. You need to watch the film though, just so you can see them finally don Madam Web's suit at the end.
And you're proving my producer's point by telling me that.
So bad.
So bad.
Yeah. Gag me with a spoon.
I saw like the pitch meeting for that and the Honest Movie trailer for that too, and they tear it apart. And they show some clips you don't get in the trailers and stuff. So I was like, oh my God, that's really in it. Kind of like the same thing with Megalopolis.
Yeah.
Just like how did it get greenlit in the first place? How did it get through editing? Like all this. How did it get released? I mean, Sylvester Stallone didn't even want to release Rambo First Blood after he filmed it. They tried to pull it before it hit theaters, and that movie's amazing. So like if he had guesses about that or second guesses about that, how does some of this stuff get through these days? Ugh.
It's all money, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think that ends our list of the worst of 2024. You guys had some really strong ones there that I forgot that even about.
They weren't strong. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Some strong stinkers, I should say.
Yeah.
I figured rather than kind of how we did in our first round of going kind of round robin, looking forward for our top 5 for 2025, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot mine out. John, if you want to go next, and then we'll have Bill after that. Top 5 movies I'm looking forward to in 2025. First one is kind of like a twofer, really. It's Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. I'm looking forward to Marvel coming back into form. Both of those movies look good at this point in time. I know. But I'm really hoping that those guys are going to kind of bounce back. And I'm a big MCU fan, so hoping those are going to work for us. Nobody 2. I really enjoyed the first Nobody. That was kind of a out of nowhere like type of action movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I really hope they make a sequel to this. And the fact that
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
They better not screw it up, though.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I got a little nervous when I first heard, but I'm mostly excited.
I'm so excited.
For sure.
And a really random movie that I've only seen recent buzz about and trailers for is Mickey 17. That's the new Robert Pattinson like space adventure where he kind of gets cloned a couple times. It kind of has like a Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it.
Okay, I've liked him lately too. So
yeah, he's done really well.
Especially Tenet. I loved him in Tenet.
That was so good.
I thought he was so solid. I loved everything about Tenet, other than maybe the audio mixing.
Mickey 17, the one in the trailers where he like falls into like this little like
hole.
Butthole,
kind of.
And it's like cloning him and stuff like that.
Yes.
And he has to kill his clones, and you don't know which one's the original.
That sounds cool.
It's basically like space travel. Like if you could imagine like a spaceship, if you're going someplace, you're if you remember the movie Passengers, right? They're hypos,
great android in that movie too. About the only good thing about it, but
but like they're traveling for hundreds of years or thousands of years on a spaceship. A normal human doesn't live that long, so your clone of yourself and your memories gets cloned, so you just keep getting redone basically. Okay. Mission Impossible 2, The Final Reckoning. I'm a big Mission Impossible fan. I really like those. Working in the job that we used to, we always had the demos of the Mission Impossible stuff.
It was the Dead Reckoning trailer for 4 years, 5 years. What was it?
I can't remember. Over and over.
It was a long time
because of COVID, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm excited for the finale of that. And then the top one for me, because I'm a fanboy, is Captain America: Brave New World. I recently got back into comics about 3 or 4 years ago. I grew up on comics, but actually it's probably been closer to 5 years now. But Sam Wilson is technically my Captain America now.
Sure.
I originally liked the original Captain America when I was reading him back in the day, but when I got back into him, Captain America transferred his shield to Sam Wilson, and he really took up the mantle really well within the comic books.
Sure.
So when they gave it to him in Endgame, I was like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
The other thing that is a potential spoiler for people, there's talks and rumors, how Robert Downey Jr. Is coming back as, what's his name?
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom, yep.
Yeah.
There's talks about Chris Evans coming back as Hydra Captain America, which if that happens, I am going to explode because that is one of my favorite story arcs in comics is evil Captain America.
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Disney's going to throw the money at it. It's going to happen.
Oh God, I hope it does. But yeah, that's my top 10 for 2025. Yeah, John, how about you, my friend?
Let's take a look here. All right, so looking forward to, in no particular order right here, 28 Years Later.
Oh yeah, the trailer just dropped for that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it yet, so yeah, we'll see about that. I'm not the biggest fan of 28 Days Later, or at least I wasn't when it came out.
Yeah.
I saw a good chunk of it recently, but I didn't get to watch the whole thing, and I enjoyed it quite a bit more than I did originally back in the day. My views on movies have grown a lot in that time, and things I look for have changed and everything. So I think if rewatching it, I'll give it a lot more credit than I used to. 28 Weeks Later, I've always loved though, just for a fun zombie movie. It's got cheesy stuff in it too, but it's just fun. So I think Years will be fun.
Well, to semi-interrupt you, just for my
good.
physical media soapbox, if you have the Blu-ray copies of 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later, those are both hot commodities right now because of that movie. So if you got the Blu-ray versions of
I have DVD, but not Blu-ray.
Yeah, the Blu-ray versions are going for like $75 a piece.
Oh, that's nice.
So.
Yeah. My next one, we'll say Ballerina. I think looks like it'll be cool. I really like John Wick, and I also really like Ana de Armas. So I think that'll be fun. And I thought she was the best part of the latest James Bond movie, and I thought she was incredibly underutilized in that movie. She's in like one scene, and it's a standout for sure.
For sure.
So I think that'll be cool to see her kind of carry a film in a more action type standpoint.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2, I loved the first one. Absolutely loved it. The story is whatever, but the action in it and the nostalgia and the way the characters were portrayed, it had some problems during filming with COVID and everything like that, so I kind of give it a pass on some of the problems that it did have, which were plenty, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just loved it, and being a Mortal Kombat kid, and
for sure.
Seeing Joe Taslim as Sub-Zero, and it's the second time in film history that someone moved faster than the cameras could actually pick up clearly, which
really?
Bruce Lee was the first time ever in Enter the Dragon, and Joe Taslim was the second time in Mortal Kombat.
That's cool.
Jet Li as well.
Oh, Jet Li, really?
Yeah.
Oh, in what?
They had to have him slow down just of his early days of films, and then he always just slowed it down after that.
The whole thing I saw may be wrong then, because maybe it was more specific, but what it was saying was this: Joe Taslim was the only person other than Bruce Lee to ever do this.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I'll have to look into that. But I can believe it with Jet Li. He's like Shaolin monk and everything.
I think one of the behind the scenes that talks, it might be the one, if I'm not mistaken.
I could see that
in the behind the scenes talks about it a little bit. But yeah, it's in his early film days. That was one of the things they had problems with, is he's just too damn fast for the camera.
Okay, well then Joe Taslim a third, and I love him from The Raid. So I'm a huge and also Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion. Oh my god, awesome! So it's going to be cool to see those guys come back.
But can you admit though, without Kano, it probably wouldn't be as strong of a movie.
Absolutely,
he held it together.
He was probably the strongest part of the movie. That line, exactly. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but when he's walking through the desert and he's like, "It'll be 10 more miles. If we say 11, will be no surprises. So we'll go with 12. So that way we're not disappointed." Like, I don't remember how it goes, but he just keeps making it longer and longer. It's so good. So next I have obviously Avatar, me being the James Cameron guy I am. And I also just love the story of Avatar. People crap on it for being a ripoff of so many different things, but so much of what we watch is a ripoff of so many different things. And if you know more about James Cameron, he actually started writing the story when he was 17 years old, which would have been before Dances with Wolves or Fern Gully, which are the two big things that it gets compared to being ripoffs of. So not that he had the full story, but he at least, the idea, the inception of it was when he was 17, and the fact that he's still following through with it to the level that he is, I love it. Love the dedication.
Yeah, his commitment is strong.
Yeah. And then the last one is actually one you said, Nobody 2.
Nice.
Yep, I'm really excited about that. Bob Odenkirk as an action hero.
I know,
so
right?
awesome and unexpected, but just great. The thing we never knew we needed.
What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna f*** you up.
And dude shooting the sniper rifle through 3 people's heads, like in the end of the first movies, and then they don't believe him that he did it. Oh, it's so good. All right, that's my 5.
Yeah, Saul Goodman kicking ass is my favorite.
Absolutely.
All right, Bill.
I'll round us out, I guess. In no particular order, I'll put Mission Impossible on there as well. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I was contemplating putting these on there, but Captain America, and it's only because I don't know, man. I Marvel has not been hitting it lately, and I don't want them to screw up the whole Captain America. Like the first Avenger, fun. I probably didn't fall into it as much as you did because I didn't have the history background, but Winter Soldier is probably still one of my favorite
so good
Marvel. Yep, agreed.
In that first, just the action sequences. It had been so long since I saw First Avenger that I totally forgot who Bucky was until he rips the face mask off and he says Bucky, and I'm like, what? Yeah. So I will just never forget. I'll never forget that moment. Yeah. Like when my wife, when we were sitting in theaters together, when he pulls that dude off of the motorcycle. Danessa just audibly wooed in the audience, and she never does that. It's like, so the trailers look promising. I mean, we're gonna get Red Hulk, but man, it's got to nail it, So it's on there, but
I think that's kind of the reason no Marvel things are on my list, is because I'm just so on the fence about everything lately. Yeah. Some of the past ones are gems, but we'll see moving forward. Hopefully they can bring it back.
Yeah, as Deadpool says, you're kind of coming in at a low point.
Yeah, exactly. I love that line.
Yep. And then I have Tron Ares.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be a little weird not to have Daft Punk, but I forget who's replacing him or them. So Tron Ares, and then Formula One, which probably doesn't hit with you guys.
Yep. I'm excited for it. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
My wife and I don't watch sports. We watch Formula One. I have a racing background myself and stuff.
Sure.
So it's like it potentially has good feet to stand on.
I just oftentimes like car movie. I'm not really a car guy, but I like car movies. Gone in 60 Seconds was one of my favorites as a kid.
Sure.
I loved Ford versus Ferrari. Ferrari, yeah. Yep.
And then the last one would be 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
Not only is it a 28 Days Later is a phenomenal movie, but it also has a sweet spot in my heart because back in college, the first camera I ever bought, my dad helped me buy it to get through film school, was a Canon XL2, which was an old 3 CCD chip camera with a pretty big lens on it, and it wasn't digital, but it had great imagery, and they shot 28 days later on the XL1.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So it kind of feels like nowadays, like movies like The Creator, where I don't know if this means anything to you guys, but hopefully some listeners out there, The Creator was shot with a handheld gimbal and a FX3, which is basically a DSLR camera and some nice lenses.
And what a film it ended up being.
What a film it ended up being. So
The Creator was cool. I liked that a lot. Was that this last year? No,
was that this year
2023, right?
20, yeah, it was.
It was
okay. That might have been on my list if it was this year. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And if you look at the making of CGI, they didn't track anybody. They basically in post was like, I want to make that person a robot or that person a robot. So the CGI in that film too was just like, how did they manage to track humans and make it that damn believable without having your traditional mocaps, or like we talked about in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, where they actually had tracking markers and all this stuff. They just did it in post and nailed it.
That's
so
awesome.
It's like 28 Days Later is kind of like that for me when I was going through college. Is it like it was shot on the camera that I was using in college, and often I use that camera and people are like, what did you shoot this on? And it wasn't the camera. It was also lighting and stuff like that. But it was just like, it's my little baby. It's my first.
And sadly,
first
I
camera.
think that's kind of the thing I didn't like about 28 Days Later when I was younger, just not being as mature of a film viewer as I am now.
Yeah.
I think that turned me off, as well as the almost amateur kind of approach.
Because it wasn't
to
pretty
filming.
and shiny.
Exactly.
And
I think that hit me when I was younger. And now that I'm older, I can see past that and actually not see past it, but appreciate it for how much it adds to the story and everything like that. So yeah, that's a great point to bring up, is the camera being used there is excellent.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Unsafe at all. That's kind of like a really random like thriller. I want to say it's like an IFC independent film.
Sure.
But that one was all shot on an iPhone.
Okay, yeah.
The whole movie. And
There's something else big recently that was shot all on an iPhone too. I can't remember what it was.
But that came out like, I don't know, like 10 years ago.
Sure.
And this is like when iPhones like first
Yeah.
like had like motion capture, like for faces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I also can appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it just made me think of that when you were speaking about it.
I was going to say, John, I don't have the research done yet, but as far as I understand, 28 years later was shot on iPhone.
I think that is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the one.
I don't have the research yet, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure I saw a headline of it too. Yeah.
Yep. Going back to, and they do. I mean, it's Hollywood, right? So they actually kit it out. So it's not just an iPhone.
Yeah,
they actually have a cage that they put on it that they can adapt lenses and stuff to.
Yeah.
But it's still the fact that they're shooting it on non-traditional cinematics, and that's other than it being a phenomenal, series and an amazing first movie.
Right.
It's all those little like film quips that I'm looking forward to seeing 28.
This conversation is making me really excited to go back and watch 28 Days Later again and just give it the time that I've been neglecting to give it for all these years.
Remember though, you're going to see a lot of Cillian Murphy dick in the beginning.
That's all right. That's becoming more and more common. Like I said, I just watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall the other day.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be better than Jason Segel.
Just full frontal.
Yeah, exactly. I got a surprise for you.
That movie's ridiculous. I missed that movie. I haven't seen that in a long time.
I think Russell Brand's character of Aldous Snow in that movie, not necessarily the version in Get Him to the Greek, but the version in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, is probably in my top 10 favorite characters I've ever seen in anything. It's just so awesome.
I kind of miss him as those characters.
Right? Yeah. It's just good stuff. Aloof. Yeah, he's just like, all right. What's up? Just so cool, but like kind of a dick at the same time. Yep.
Well, great, guys. That's our list for our top 5 movies looking forward to in 2025. I figured, hey, let's just throw out some honorable mentions here. You'd mentioned Avatar 2 already, Tron 2, The Running Man. They're going to be remaking that. I'm interested in how that works out in a modern day type of thing.
Yeah.
I have Mortal Kombat 2. A lot of these are 2s and sequels here. Megan 2.0, if you guys got a chance to see that one, that was a really good movie that came out.
I heard surprisingly positive reviews about that. I didn't think I was going to like it at all, but some of the reviews that came back were making me more intrigued.
Yeah, it's good. It's like a modern day Chucky.
Sure.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
is it still Blumhouse?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Because if it is, it'd probably be okay. But if it's a different production company, then
yeah, I'm not sure. The new Superman, the James Gunn Superman, is going to be coming out.
Oh yeah,
Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. They're remaking that. We mentioned
what?
Yeah,
I'm a little bit nervous for Liam Neeson in that role, but we'll see.
Yeah,
he's pulled off some deadpan stuff before, but only in like small, like brief,
Ted 2.
like brief interactions. So we'll see how he carries a whole movie, like following what is it, Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
Like, we'll see.
My favorite line from Ted 2, he's like, "So I've been told these tricks are for kids, like exclusively for kids or something like that." Had me rolling. 28 years later, coming up, Ballerina, which we mentioned, Karate Kid, which is going to be a mixture of the original Karate Kid and Jackie Chan Karate Kid.
Okay.
Those two worlds are going to collide. The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck.
I actually did like the first one, so
yeah, me too.
Especially if John Bernthal returns for
yeah.
the second one, because he was probably my favorite part about the first one. As he's often my favorite part of things he's involved with, but
nice. The Amateur, which is basically Mr. Robot, goes CIA and kills everybody. Lilo and Stitch, Life of Chuck, looks pretty interesting. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version of that. F1 we talked about. There's a new Jurassic World that's going to come out. See if they can.
Of course there is.
Save their save the
I'm on
franchise.
board.
I'll watch it, but I don't have much hope for it to be good.
Fair enough.
I will watch it though. You can't not.
Yeah. You know? I know. Dinosaurs, big screen.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
down. The Bad Guys 2, which is an animated movie. I really liked the first one. That was kind of like a sleeper hit for me.
I can't recall if I saw it. I need to go back and check it out before this one comes out.
Yeah, it's a good DreamWorks one.
Yeah.
Freakier Friday. It's a sequel to the original Freaky Friday. Not the original.
The original remake or whatever. The
correct.
Lindsay Lohan one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis. Mm-hmm. And then Wicked Part 2. We didn't get to mention that on the list as far as like top movies this year, but I'll tell you what, man, box office wise, that thing is killing it right now.
It's a monster for sure.
I worked.
But is it good?
I was gonna say I worked it last night.
I've heard good reviews.
It looks so good. I'm sad I haven't get a chance to watch it yet.
You remember Bobby from The Warehouse?
I don't think so. No.
You would have, if you saw his face, you'd recognize him. He's been there forever, but he's not the type I would expect to love it, but he gave me a raving review about it today. He said he saw it 3 times. So
I can see it.
Yeah.
The energy and the set design, the production, like the music, just even from being around it and actually watching it, it's so good.
Well, I had tickets to it. Shirley and I did, and I got stuck at a job late, and I didn't get home in time to make it to the showing, and it left Dolby after that, and I kind of refused to go if it's not Dolby anymore.
Fair enough.
It just looks and sounds better at my house if it's not Dolby in the theater.
No, that's fair. I was going to say, I think our last showing of this week at least was for Wicked. I think Craven comes out this week, so and it's not expected to do well. So I'm sure they're going to throw Wicked right back in there.
Yeah, probably.
So
one real quick thing: has anybody seen Flow?
No, but that's pretty popular with like a particular crowd.
Yeah. I really want to see it. It looked pretty awesome. The story about the little cat after the end of the world or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked the animation on that looked pretty amazing too.
Yeah, I walked into that just briefly, and
and there's no dialogue through it because it's just all animals. Like it seemed pretty intriguing.
I thought that was a video game. I've seen the advertisement.
It looks like a video game.
In passing.
Yeah, it absolutely looks like a video game. You're not off there.
Oh, I didn't know it was a feature.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. We're going to do just a quick little wrap up here. I always like to end our episodes with, hey, what have you been watching? What you kind of been up to, just to kind of keep things current, even though this is kind of our current of 2024, 2025. But I always think it's kind of just a nice little thing that we can kind of throw on and just put a little button on it. Bill, we're going to start with you. What have you been, what you been watching? What you been up to?
Well, I'll start with John. You're wrong about Bad Boys 2 or 4 or 3 or whatever the heck it is.
4,
Ride or
I
Die.
think it's 4.
Yeah. Let's see. I've been watching a lot of trying to catch up on watching shows, but The Gentleman.
I've heard good things, and I love the movie. So.
Oh, there's a show now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think it's Netflix though.
Oh,
it was fun and entertaining, but then the ending just kind of meh.
Oh, that's a bummer to hear.
But it was entertaining. It's worth a watch, but I feel like the ending really just petered off.
Gotcha. And the reviews I've gotten out of it were only off the first few episodes. So that kind of makes sense that nobody mentioned anything like that to me.
And it's fun. It definitely but I think that's why the ending was just kind of mad, because it was like the beginning. They set up it's not like it's like a roller coaster crazy ride from the get go. It kind of is one note, not in a bad way, but they definitely set up something, and then it kind of just whatever ends. So it's still fun. It's shot well. It's beautiful. It's cheeky because it's a nice, gentle Englishman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Nice. It's worth a watch, I guess.
John, how about you, sir?
So I recently went back, and I've been watching some shows too, like The 100, if you've never seen it. It's like a CW show.
Oh, yeah.
It's very weird. It's got the typical CW bad acting and like all this stuff about it. But if you give it a chance, it's actually really good. And like the story, it's one of the few shows I've ever seen that had the balls to take the chances that it took and continue being quality as it took those chances. It takes some chances that drastically change what the show is. So it's kind of cool if you stick with it all the way through. But as far as movies,
it's always questionable when you say if you give it a chance.
Yeah. Well, this one you really have to. It's a strange premise too, and like I said, the acting in the first couple episodes will make you be like, do I want to watch this?
Yeah.
But if you stick with it, it's fully worth it. I got a couple of my guys at work addicted to it right now. But the movie I've been watching recently was, or that I revisited recently, was Shutter Island.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So I realized I hadn't seen it in so long. There's a lot of details I was forgetting. Going back and rewatching it was fun, and it was cool because my wife had set up the fact that she remembered the ending, like the twist, but she didn't remember all the details of it. So as we were watching, I was saying certain things, and I had to kind of backtrack. At one point, I was like, it's kind of cool. You're watching a movie where almost every character in the movie is an actor playing a character who is also acting. Yeah. And when you rewatch it, you can see that in them. Mm-hmm. And she had forgot that they're instigating his visions to like try to let him live through the whole thing to see if it cures him or whatever. She had remembered that it was all in his head, but she didn't remember that part, that they were instigating it. And so when I said that, she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll stop talking." Like if you don't remember that detail. And then the double twist at the end where he does remember everything and he chooses to get the lobotomy so he can die as someone who doesn't remember. The double twist on that one, I think, actually works really well, almost to the point where I feel like a lot of people probably don't even pick up on it.
Yeah.
And so that's a really fun one for me.
It's funny. I was gonna make a joke that were you taken surprised by the twist, but apparently your wife was.
Yeah, right.
Even though you've seen it already, but
it'd have been years. But yeah.
I mean, it's probably one of cinema's greatest twists because it works so well.
Like you start to tell that he's part of it. Like that he's a patient, but you don't notice that they're really setting. And I mean, unless you pick up the thing with the gun and stuff, but a lot of that's a second viewing thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And in movies like that, I enjoy when you have to watch second, third time and kind of just like really pay attention to it, and you get something out of it each time.
Yep. And Ben Kingsley does so much with just his eyes in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
When something gets said and he just looks at the person or something like that, and then when you rewatch it knowing the whole story, you're like, holy, like that guy conveyed so much just with his eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
can you name a Ben Kingsley movie that you don't enjoy?
Gandhi.
Oh yeah. Okay, let me say, is there a Ben Kingsley performance? Because I mean, while the movie wasn't good, his performance.
That's true.
Iron Man 3, maybe.
Well, even in that, like I feel like he did the role that he was told.
Yeah,
to do,
I actually do kind of like him in that. And then I guess they make it a little bit better later. What movie did they bring him back in? Was it Multiverse of Madness, or was it?
It could have been
one of them. They brought him back
to
retcon his character a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
yep,
that's it. Shang-Chi.
Yep. I actually liked him quite a bit in that one, to be honest.
Well, some time ago, I was offered the role of a terrorist. I know, facile, trite. I couldn't agree more. But times were lean, you know what I mean. Anyway.
Well, I'll finish this off here and help us out. So TV show wise, me and my girlfriend were watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We both never seen it before. It talk about like true camp. This show is so camp.
Sure.
And I'm sure
I've never really watched it either, but I know what you're talking about.
So like all of like the like really weird like you pay attention tropes, like the whole high school is like lit like really bad. Like everything's dark. Like why is this room dark, right? Because it's supposed to be scary, right? But
they hadn't thought of the sparkling skin idea yet.
Right, exactly. So, but I mean, the episodes are great. You get to see actors who haven't made it big yet.
Sure, that's always fun to see.
So that's really fun to see.
I didn't know he was in this. What?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of those guys in here.
Wow, sorry.
No, I wasn't looking.
Did you lose your way?
And then some of the dialogue is really cheesy.
Sure.
It's very 90s.
Yeah.
So it's like very early beginning 90s. And we have the DVD versions. So like the quality isn't the best.
Sure.
So it's kind of like watching it in a time machine a little bit. So it's kind of like our thing that we go to like when we have like a long day. It's like, hey, you want to go watch a episode of Buffy? So which is really fun.
Do you play it through your Sony Trinitron or?
No. Yeah, I put it on my OLED, which is even worse.
You're right, yeah. It sucks as your display gets higher quality, older things get worse.
Yes, exactly. But movie-wise, one movie that I thought was pretty interesting that I saw recently, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a movie. It's a Steve McQueen movie. It's an older movie. It's called Sand Pebbles. It's a really, really, like, this movie would never get made today. It's set in like I want to say even pre-World War II. Yeah, pre-World War II America. It's a guy who's on a Navy ship and he's in China and Asia area, and he's just a Navy guy working on a boat, and there's some political strife that he has to deal with on the boat as well as on sea. It's a very slow moving story, and it even has like an intermission in the middle of the like movie because it's a built-in 1960s movie.
Yeah.
And it's acted atypically. Like if you ever seen like Bridge over the Water
River Kwai, yeah.
River Kwai, thank you.
Yep.
Or Lawrence of Arabia.
Yep.
It's got all that feel. Like,
okay.
It's pretty much the same genre.
It might be right up my alley lately because I just asked Shirley if she would watch those two movies with me. The other two that you mentioned. So yeah.
But there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff about it. They shot. I want to say it's like a 3 hour and some change movie, just like those two movies that are just really long.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said, it's built-in intermission. You go do your thing. But really, really well. Like I was interested the whole time.
Sure.
It's like a stage play.
It's nice when a movie from an older time period can do that to you, because a lot of times even a great movie just watched through our lens, you're like, I'm not getting it the way they got it back then. Like I appreciate the filmmaking, I appreciate what it did for cinema and storytelling and all those different things that you give it credit for, but I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
And so it's cool when you watch something older like that and it really does hit you and you're like, oh, this one is magic to me. This is cool,
For sure.
So, and that's kind of why I asked my wife if she'll watch Bridge Over the River Kwai and Lawrence of Arabia with me, because I kind of wanted that old-timey, like, let's take a trip back in time to cinema's older days and see some of the greats from back then.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't do that enough these days. I used to more than I do recently. So.
Well, I would highly recommend, and then Bill knows this actor, and you may know, we haven't had this conversation before, but Mako is in there.
I'm sure I know that one.
He is Avatar. He's the uncle.
The Netflix series Avatar?
No,
what are you talking about?
The Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Uh-huh.
He's Uncle Iroh.
In the animated series?
Yeah, he's the voice of Uncle Iroh. Okay. His name's Mako.
Okay.
So it's him as a youth, I guess.
Gotcha.
And he's in there, and I was
Does
like,
he have the same deep, sultry voice?
No.
As a youth?
No, definitely not. But I was like, holy crap, is that who I think it is?
Sure.
So that was kind of like a cool Easter egg for myself.
That's definitely cool, especially in an older movie like that, seeing somebody you recognize. You're like, that's cool.
So last thing I'll just mention is Jersey Girl. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. That's
I actually liked that movie quite a bit when I saw it back in the day.
Yeah, I saw it for the first time like last week. It was really good.
And I didn't only like it because Jennifer Lopez dies early on. Like I liked it for other reasons too.
You just hate movies with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
I like Anaconda, I guess, kind of. Yeah. That might be more for Ice Cube, but
no, but that was a surprise for me. I was like,
it's got some moments. The Sweeney Todd bit, I think the Sweeney Todd bit is excellent in that movie.
That reminded
fantastic.
me of what's that movie with Charlie Day and Ice Cube?
Oh,
it's like
Fist Fight. Yeah, Fist Fight.
Like at the end, he's like, well, I guess we're doing
he
this.
He just goes with it.
Yeah.
That
kind of reminds me of the same thing.
That scene is amazing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
From Fist Fight, yeah.
But
it's probably better than the fight scene, is that scene.
Oh, for sure. Agreed. And I just love how he just rolls with it. And he's like, all right, we're going with this.
Yeah. But yeah, Jersey Girl's got some moments. For sure. When he's running into the hospital panicking in the beginning and they're like, where's your wife? And he's like,
oh yeah.
And he runs back out to get her. He comes and he's like, this belligerent nurse won't help me.
Yeah.
And she's like super nice. Yeah, that movie's got its moments for sure. George Carlin as well.
Oh, he's great in that. Yep. I would recommend, and I was kind of looking at my phone here, if you can kind of see on screen. I was looking at my phone in my Letterboxd. If you guys are at home, please follow us on Letterboxd. I track all of our movies that we watch on the show. Really, I'm kind of the one who's doing it at this point, but hopefully in the future we'll get some of these lovely gents here to kind of contribute. But you can kind of see and kind of keep up with us, what movies we're watching. We give little blurbs on there of like how we rate movies and kind of what we thought about it. You can kind of follow along with us at home, see what movies we're watching. So we're at Letterboxd is the app or website, and our handle is MFCPod. So if you can find us there, that'd be great. Links will be below as far as our social medias are concerned. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, hey, you already found us, which is great. We're also going to be on YouTube Music, so you can hear us just for the audio version if you'd like. The other things we're going to be on is Spotify, and of course we're going to be on the Apple Music, so you can hear us on there. You can find us on most major podcasting apps. I want to thank John and Bill coming in for today. Thank you guys for your back and forth, your energy, your banter.
Yeah, of course.
Giving us some great insights on kind of 2024. I'm really excited for 2025 and what cinema has to hold for us, and for what this podcast has to hold for us. So thank you guys for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also, hey, thank you guys for coming to watch us and listen to us. If you want more, please like, subscribe, all that good social media stuff with us. This is our end of our episode here. I appreciate you coming to watch us today. And as always, enjoy Movies, Film, Cinema. Take care. That's a wrap on this episode of Movies, Film, Cinema. If you enjoyed today's feature presentation, like and subscribe. Share your comments and reviews down below. But until next time, keep the popcorn popping and the films rolling. See you at the movies!